Hi, I'm back with part 2 of this. In the last video, I talked about Employ Young Americans Now Act, Social Security Expansion Act, College for All Act, Rebuild America Act. Those are Bernie Sanders' proposals so far. Now we get down to paid family medical vacation leave. Offer 12 weeks of paid family medical and vacation leave. Millions of employees in the U.S. lack access to paid time off for vacation, illness, or care of a family member, including a new child. Also, 40% of Americans, 40% of American workers lack access to even basic job protections. Would be provided by the Family Medical Leave Act because there are less than 50 employees working for their employer. Senator Sanders proposes 10 days paid vacation for those who have worked for an employer for at least 1 year. The act would apply to employees. The act would apply to employers that have at least 15 employees. It also allows for at least 12 weeks of universal family and medical leave. The Family Act was introduced by Sanders and Kristen Hildebrand. Sanders was a co-sponsor of that bill. To pay for this, it is proposed to have an additional 0.2% payroll tax, which is estimated to generate $319 billion over 10 years. Keep Our Pension Promises Act. And this is a big one because a lot of companies are doing away with pensions, and Donald Trump isn't really helping much. Keep Our Pension Promise Act. Legislation introduced in 2017 by Bernie Sanders and Representative Marcy Kaptur to protect pensions for up to 10 million retirees and workers. The act reverses a provision passed in 2014 that could cause deep pension cuts for millions of workers and retirees in multi-employer pension plans. It is an estimated cost of $29 billion over 10 years. To pay for this, Senator Sanders proposes closing tax loopholes on estate tax and artwork, which could generate that $29 billion over 10 years. Reasonable Estate Tax Act. I'm sorry, reasonable. You have to forgive me, I'm a little tired when I'm doing this. It's 1:49 a.m. my time. Responsible Estate Tax Act. That's more like it. Responsible Estate Tax Act. Legislation introduced by Senator Sanders that amends the Internal Revenue Code. The act, with respect to estate, gift, and generation, skipping transfer taxes, revises estate tax rates. It could impose increased taxes for estates valued at over $3.5 million and a maximum state rate tax of 55% for estates over $50 million. Imposes a 10% surtax on estates over $500 million, reduces the basic estate tax exclusion amount to $3.5 million, increased to $3 million the reduction of valuations of farmland for estate tax purposes, and adjust such increased amounts for inflation after 2014. It also would increase a $2 million the maximum estate tax exclusion for contributions to conservation assessments. Easements. E-A-S-E-M-E-N-T-S. Easement. Easements. There is more in the proposal. It sounds good, but since I am personally not a realtor or a housing market savvy, I don't understand some of this and the other things included in the proposal. It includes a progressive estate tax on inheritances over $3.5 million and closes the estate tax loopholes, which is estimated to generate $2.14 billion over 10 years. End Polluter Welfare Act. It's not exactly what it sounds like, and I'll explain why. The End Polluter Welfare Act, tax breaks and subsidies for fossil fuel companies, are costing hundreds of billions of dollars. The End Polluter Welfare Act is estimated to cost around $110 billion over 10 years, which is legislation that would close tax loopholes and eliminate other subsidies for oil, gas, and coal industries. By ending tax breaks and subsidies for fossil fuels companies, it is estimated to generate $135 billion over 10 years. Medicare for All health care plan. Medicare for All, making health care a human right, legislation introduced by Senator Sanders for universal health care as a single-payer health care plan. If Bernie Sanders has his way, it will indefinitely end the for-profit health care insurance system. No, it won't. If you have health care and you like it, if you are paying for it and you like it, then you can keep it. You can allow companies to make money off of you if you so choose to do that. The way Sanders sees it, that many other developed countries all over have more affordable health care than the U.S. because of universal health care. It is estimated to cost $1.28 trillion per year. To pay for it, Sanders proposes a 6.2% income-based health care premium paid by employers, a 2.2% income-based premium paid by households, progressive income tax rates, taking capital gains and dividends the same as income from work. Also by limiting tax deductions for the rich, adjusting the estate tax and savings from health care tax expenditures. This is estimated to add up to $1.39 trillion in the needed revenue to pay for it. In conclusion, it is now clear that Sanders is not giving away free stuff and does have valid proposals and ways to pay for them all. Yes, he has given you valid proposals that he wants to do as president, and he also has a way to get them paid for. It is better to not look at it as a giving away free stuff, but instead as giving the people back what has been taken away from them. Yes, these are things that have been taken away from us. But there's going to be a lot of people out there that believe that stuff was not taken away from us and it is free stuff. You're going to have a lot of people that are pissed off because they got to pay for stuff, and they're going to be pissed off because they are going to be forced to help people. They don't want to help people. They want to be selfish. The American people paid into the system are owed for their investment, and it is long overdue. With ex-Vice President Joe Biden's presidential launch only reaching 600 people in the same spot, Bernie Sanders got 4,500 in 3 weeks before Joe Biden mentioned his. Anyway, this is what Bernie Sanders expects to do. Now, I think it's great in theory. I also believe that it'll be hard to implement, especially when you are pulling teeth. Nobody likes to have their teeth pulled. Anyway, if you have something to add to this, if you don't think this is going to work and you have valid points on why you don't think it'll work, put a comment below. If you think it will work, put a comment below also. Also, let me know overall what you think of Bernie Sanders, and let me know if you want to who you gonna vote for and why. There's no right or wrong answer here. If you're going to vote for Trump, that's fine. Explain to me why. Don't just say, oh, so-and-so did this and so-and-so did that. When I say, why are you voting for Donald Trump? Say, because he's trying to get the wall, the border under control. Or he's trying to bring down taxes. Or he's trying to do this, trying to do that. That's something I can live with. But if you just point fingers at other people and say, well, look at what Obama did, that's not working. That's not telling me why you're going to vote for Trump. And you can't vote for Trump just because he's famous. That's the wrong reason. America deserves better than that. Anyway, if you have an idea for a video, please put it in the comments below and let me know what you want me to talk about, and I'll see what I can do for you. If you liked my video, please give it a big thumbs up. Also, hit the subscribe button, wherever the subscribe button is at. Hit that. I'm trying to give America a little idea in what I think is good for America. This has been All Things Considered. Have a good night, Seattle, America, and all points beyond.